Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region. Plus, authorities in Nigeria have withdrawn terrorism charges against former Justice Minister, marking a significant legal turnaround. And CAF is set for another refereeing shake-up. The body is moving to reappoint Dwayne Normades. These and more will be yours in a few minutes to come. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Royal TV. I am Sharon Tita for presentation. Pope Leo XIV has been warmly received in Bamenda, the chief town of the Northwest region. Bishops, imams, traditional rulers, and Christians answered present to a peace mass held at the St. Joseph Metropolitan Cathedral, Bamenda, to welcome the Pope. Details in the following report with Natalie Juma.
Government officials, Catholic religious authorities, traditional authorities, and Catholic and non-Catholic faithful gathered at the St. Joseph's Metropolitan Cathedral, Big Mankan, to discuss peace with the Sovereign Pontiff. Outside the churchyard, security was tight and the mood was tense, but the population was hopeful. For over 2 hours, Pope Leo XIV listened to bishops, imams, pastors, funds, as well as some families that have been severely affected by the ongoing Anglophone crisis.
My kids had not been seen. My kid has to abandon school after seeing no better in Bamenda. I decided to Douala to look for a livelihood and not finding anything better. I returned to Bamenda. I now live in a little rented house with my entire family.
The Pope did not name groups, but lamented about the crisis that has displaced thousands since 2016. He pleaded for schools to be reopened, kidnappings to come to an end, and for peace to be restored in the regions. As a sign of igniting peace, a white dove was sent out at the St. Joseph Metropolitan Cathedral by the Pope, reiterating that peace should be restored.
To be the workers who bring peace to this land, let us all say a prayer to the Lord that peace will truly reign among us, that as we release these white doves, symbol of peace, that God's peace will be upon all of us, upon this land, and keep us.
Outside the cathedral, hundreds of Christians cheered and jeered to have been privileged to welcome the pontiff to Bamenda at such a time. For many who answered present to welcome the Pope, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event, as churches across the country have gladly received the pontiff. Pope Leo XIV was received at the Unity Palace yesterday upon his arrival to Cameroon by the presidential couple and the other government dignitaries.
The 10 years Anglophone crisis has put Cameroonians at a sorrowful and tightful end. They see the coming of Pope Leo XIV as a solution to their problems. Many calls have been made for the people, for the Pope to seek solutions to their problems. Details in the following report with Mwambo Williams.
Cameroon prepares for a historic moment. Pope Leo XIV arrives today, April 15, 2026, for a 4-day visit. Many see him as a messenger of peace for Anglophone crisis, a conflict that has displaced over 679,000 people and kept over 800 children out of school since 2016. But he is not the first to come with that hope. In November 2019, a joint delegation from the African Union, Commonwealth, and Francophonie met President Biya, urging broad-based dialogue. In January 2018, Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland called for peace and unity in Southwest. In January 2021, Cardinal Petro Parolin came with Pope Francis's message, I quote, "The Pope is well aware of the difficulties. He implores the Lord's consolation for you." He celebrated masses in Bamenda at the heart of the crisis. Even our own men of God have worked for peace. In October 2020, Jesuit priest Ludovic Lado trekked from Douala to Yaoundé, saying, I quote, "Our indifference has become a collective sin." Reverend Killian Donwi Shamikara, kidnapped 3 times in Northwest, says, I quote, "Cameroon is a nation indeed for healing." Switzerland tried to mediate in 2019. The US Congress sent a fact-finding mission. The UN, EU, and World Council of Churches have all spoken out, yet the guns have not fallen silent. So why do expectations remain high for Pope Leo XIV? Archbishop Andrew Keya of Bamenda puts it this way: the Pope comes as ambassador of reconciliation. Archbishop Samuel Cleda of Douala calls him a messenger of peace. The People's Schedule shows his intent. He goes to Bamenda on April 16 for a meeting for peace at St. Joseph's Cathedral. He will celebrate Mass at Bamenda International Airport in the very region torn by war. A 4-day visit cannot decree peace. What it can do is reignite moral pursuit, moral pressure. The difference between the Pope and past visitors is his spiritual authority, but miracles need human hands. And that is the message from church leaders tonight. God can intervene through the Pope, but Cameroonians must first play their role. That means governments and separatists returning to genuine dialogue. It means communities rejecting hate speech, each citizen refusing indifference. As Father Lado says, our indifference has become a collective sin. The People's Present is a reminder, not a replacement, for the work of peace. Pope Leo XIV celebrates Mass at Yaoundé-Ville Airport on Saturday before departing. His is the first papal visit since Benedict XVI in 2009. Whether this visit marks a turning point, it will depend not only on Rome, but on Bamenda, Boya, and Yaoundé. I rest my case.
Thank you very much, Mwambo Williams, for that report. The absence of public toilets is leaving thousands stranded in comfort, risking health and dignity. The crowded corners of bus stations, bustling markets, schools, and even some churches, the basic human need of toilets is being neglected. Frida Lena says it is a silent crisis in plain sight, and the call is growing louder for authorities to act now.
In the heart of our towns, life never slows down. Bus stations, markets, schools and churches, places where thousands gather daily, but amid the noise and movement, one basic need remains unmet: access to public toilets. For many, finding a clean, safe toilet is a daunting task. Parents struggle, children wait uncomfortably, and the elderly endure in silence. The absence of facilities turned simple errands into stressful ordeals. At the markets, vendors spend long hours serving customers. Yet, when nature calls, they face a dilemma: walk long distances, pay for private facilities, or endure the discomfort. It's a silent crisis, hidden in plain sight. In some schools, the lack of adequate toilets forces students to miss classes or risk unsafe alternatives. Hygiene suffers, dignity is compromised, and learning is disrupted. Even in places of worship, where communities gather for hope and renewal, the faithful often live with a pressing need unanswered. Public toilets are not a luxury, they are a necessity for health, for dignity, for community life. Without them, sanitation risks rise, diseases spread, and the most vulnerable suffer most. The solution is not complex. Authorities can act. With planning, investment, and commitment, public toilets can be built and maintained in these crowded places. It is a matter of priority, of valuing the people who keep our towns alive. This is a call to action. To leaders, planners, and decision makers, do the needful, build the toilets, restore dignity, protect health, because every citizen deserves a safe space to answer nature's call.
Frida Lena Voma. There ends that report. And now onto our foreign page. Authorities in Nigeria have withdrawn terrorism charges against a former justice minister, marking a significant legal turnaround in a high-profile case that had drawn national attention. Plus, Kemi Seba, a prominent Beninese Pan-African activist, was arrested in South Africa, sparking concern and calls for clarity on the charges against him. Details in the following reports with Nanga Sonia.
Nigerian authorities have withdrawn terrorism financing charges against former Justice Minister Abubakar Malami. Malami was earlier this year charged with knowingly abetting terrorism by refusing to prosecute terrorism financiers whose case files were brought to his office. Abdulaziz Malami also faced charges of wanting to commit terrorism by having an unlicensed pistol and ammunition at his home. They both pleaded not guilty to the illegal possession of firearms charges. Nigerian media likewise reported that a lawyer for the secret police, the Department of State Services, told a court in Abuja that the terrorism allegations had been dropped, but the firearms charges remained. Malami, who serves as Attorney General and Justice Minister between November 2015 and May 2023, also faces allegations of financial crimes. In January, the country's anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, accused him, along with his wife and son, of laundering money worth 8.7 billion naira, about $6.5 million. He was granted bail on the now amended terrorism charges in February. Malami is among several top officials from the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who was praised for his anti-corruption stance to face trial for fraud. Former Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele and ex-Labour Minister Chris Ngige are in court over similar allegations. Police in South Africa have arrested Pan-African activist Kemi Seba, who is wanted in Benin for inciting rebellion after he supported a foiled coup in December. Seba, whose real name is Telio Gilles Robert Capo, is known for his tirades against France and African governments allied with Paris. South Africa's police said the French-born Beninese politician and his 18-year-old son were apprehended at a Pretoria shopping mall on Monday. Also arrested was a man who had allegedly been paid to help them illegally enter neighboring Zimbabwe from where they intended traveling on to Europe. All three have appeared in court facing charges of conspiracy to commit a crime and contravention of South Africa's Immigration Act. Police say preliminary investigations showed that Seba was alleged to be a wanted fugitive in France and Benin for criminal activities relating to crimes against the state. Their case was postponed until April 20 and they were remanded in custody as extradition processes get underway. Benin issued an international warrant for Seba's arrest on 12 December after he supported a foil coup in which mutinous soldiers claimed to have overthrown President Patrice Talon. The activist posted a video shortly afterwards declaring it the day of liberation for Benin. Their attempted coup was thwarted during the day by the Beninese with support from Nigeria and France. Seba, who heads the NGO Pan-Africanist Emergency and has 1.5 million followers on social media, was stripped of his French nationality in 2024. He openly supports the military juntas that came to power through coups in the Sahel region.
And now, onto our sports page. Match day 5 of the Southwest Regional League delivered goals and drama in Boya. Ates suffered a narrow defeat to Sinedef. Elect Sports were held to a frustrating draw. Fako United stole the spotlight in an emphatic fashion. Details in the following reports with Claudia Voma.
Match day 5 of the Southwest Regional League in Boya produced a mix of tight encounters and high-scoring actions as teams continued their push for dominance. Ates were edged out 1-0 by Sinodef in a closely contested fixture, with a solitary goal proving enough to separate both sides in a game marked by discipline and limited chances.
In another fixture, Elexpor played out a draw with Mount Cameroon FC, with both teams failing to find the decisive breakthrough despite creating opportunities. The results leave both sides with work to do as the competition intensifies. The standout performance of the day came from Fako United, who delivered a ruthless attacking display to thrash Rising Stars 7-1. The emphatic victory marks it 5 wins in 5 matches for Fako United, underlining their strong form and early statement of intent in the league. As the season progresses, matchday 5 results have further shaped the standings, with Fako United emerging as early front-runners, while other teams look to regain momentum in the coming fixtures. Matchday 5 continues today in Buea and Limbe as the league draws closer to the end of its first phase.
CAF is set for another refereeing shake-up. The body is moving to reappoint Dwayne Normades. His return follows months of controversy. Officiating standards have faced heavy criticism. FIFA is believed to be backing the move. Changes could also impact Cameroonian officials. Details in the following report with Claudia Woma.
Confederation of African Football is reportedly preparing to reappoint Ivorian referee administrator Dwayne Normades as head of its refereeing committee in what is seen as a move to restore credibility and technical stability within the system. Normades was removed from his role in August during the restructuring led by former Secretary General Veron Musengo Omba, which resulted in the reappointment of Ethiopian Esaias Jira Bosho Safa, locally known as Safa Kebene. The decision followed mounting criticism of officiating, particularly after complaints from the Royal Moroccan Football Federation over controversial calls during women's competitions hosted in Morocco. However, recent developments indicate a shift in direction, with sources suggesting that the FIFA refereeing committee is strongly backing Normades' return. He is widely regarded as an experienced figure capable of improving referee training, assessment and consistency across CAF competitions. His potential reinstatement is also significant as he was among the last refereeing officials appointed under direct FIFA supervision before the global body reduced its involvement in CAF's internal refereeing structures. The expected reshuffle could also affect other officials within the system, including those from Cameroon, a country that continues to play a key role in African officiating. This is highlighted by the recent selection of assistant referee Elvis Nupwe in the poll for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. If confirmed, the move would signal CAF's determination to rebuild trust in refereeing and strengthen its structures after a period marked by controversy and growing scrutiny.
Authorities in Nigeria have withdrawn terrorism charges against former Justice Minister, marking a significant legal turnaround. And CAF is set for another refereeing shake-up. The body is moving to reappoint Dwayne Normades. Dear viewers of Royal TV, it is on this note that we wrap up our news for today. The news was produced by Natalie Juma, technically assisted by Isa Abdullahi Kru, and for presentation, I am Sharon Tita. Good night.